Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Relationships are built on trust, honesty, and communication. But sometimes there are words, phrases, little clues that a man might drop. And when you hear them, you better pay attention. Because those words, they might just be the red flag waving in front of you. Nah, I ain't saying every man who says these words is cheating. But if he keeps repeating them and things ain't adding up, well, you might need to investigate. When a man says she's just a friend, you better listen carefully. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Men and women can be friends. And that's true. But the problem is not the friendship itself. It's the way he behaves about it. If a man has a female friend, but he never brings her around you, never introduces you, or acts like it's some big secret, that's when you have to start questioning things. Because if she's really just a friend, why is he keeping her away from you? A man who is loyal and honest in a relationship won't have a problem introducing his female friends to his partner. He won't hesitate to invite her to events, to mention her in conversations in a casual and open way, or to make sure there's no secrecy involved. But when he starts hiding things, that's when you need to pay attention. Think about it. When you meet a trustworthy man, his actions match his words. If he says she's just a friend, you will feel that in the way he behaves. But when something is off, you'll notice the little things. Maybe he's always texting her, but never lets you see the messages. Maybe he gets defensive when you ask about her. Maybe he acts nervous if her name pops up on his phone. Or maybe you only find out about this so-called friend by accident because he never mentioned her in the first place. The thing about relationships is that they should be built on transparency. You should never feel like you have to go digging for the truth, and you should never be made to feel crazy for asking reasonable questions. If a man truly values his relationship with you, he won't make you feel like you're competing with another woman, even if she is just a friend. Now, here's the real deal. A faithful man won't even put himself in a situation where it looks suspicious. He knows that trust is something you build every day, not something you take for granted. A man who is truly committed won't let another woman get in the way of what he has. He will make sure you feel secure in your relationship because he respects you, not because you had to demand it. A lot of times when men cheat, they start testing the waters first. They might start by being secretive or by downplaying certain relationships. They might gaslight you into thinking you're paranoid when you bring up concerns. And before you know it, you're questioning yourself instead of questioning him. That's why words like she's just a friend can't always be taken at face value. You have to look at the full picture. Does his behavior match his words? Does he make you feel secure in the relationship? Do you trust him, or do you feel like something is off? The reality is that a loyal man doesn't have to work so hard to prove his honesty. His actions will speak for themselves. If he has female friends, you will know them. You will have met them. And there won't be any secrecy involved. But if you feel like something isn't right, don't ignore it. Trust yourself enough to recognize when something doesn't add up. When a man tells you you're overreacting, what he's really saying is, I don't want to deal with this truth. This phrase is one of the biggest ways a man tries to dismiss your feelings and avoid accountability. It's a defense mechanism, a way to flip the script so that instead of looking at his behavior, you start questioning yourself. And let me tell you something. Anytime a man makes you doubt your own instincts, your own emotions, and your own reality, that's a red flag waving right in front of you. Think about it. In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel safe enough to express their feelings. If something bothers you, if something doesn't sit right with you, you should be able to bring it up without feeling like you're crazy for doing so. But when a man says, you're overreacting, what he's really doing is trying to shut down the conversation before it even starts. He's trying to make you feel like your emotions are too much, like your concerns are irrational, like you're the problem instead of the issue at hand. Now let's break this down further. Why would a man tell you that you're overreacting? There are a few key reasons, and none of them are good. First, he doesn't want to take responsibility. If a man is doing something he knows is wrong, whether it's texting another woman, lying about his whereabouts, or acting shady in any way, the last thing he wants is for you to call him out on it. So instead of addressing the issue directly, he turns it back on you. He makes you feel like you're the one blowing things out of proportion, even when your concerns are completely valid. This is classic deflection. Instead of saying, you know what? I understand why you feel that way, he'll say, why are you making such a big deal out of this? That right there is emotional manipulation. Because once a man gets you to question yourself, he wins. If he can convince you that you're just being insecure or jealous or dramatic, then he doesn't have to answer for his actions. And before you know it, you're apologizing for even bringing it up, instead of him explaining why he made you feel uncomfortable in the first place. Second, he's hiding something. If there's nothing to hide, why get defensive? Why try to shut you down? A man who is honest and loyal won't feel the need to dismiss your feelings. He'll have no problem sitting down and saying, look, I see why you feel that way. Let me explain. But a man who is up to something, he'll want to end the conversation as quickly as possible. And the easiest way to do that is to make you feel like you're being irrational. Here's the thing, your feelings are real. If something doesn't sit right with you, there's a reason. Women have intuition for a reason, and when something feels off, it usually is. But when a man constantly tells you that you're overreacting, he's trying to silence that intuition. He's trying to make you second guess yourself so that he doesn't have to explain himself. Think about how this plays out in real life. Maybe you'll notice he's been acting differently, staying out later than usual, keeping his phone glued to his side, or being extra secretive. So you bring it up, you ask a simple question. Hey, I feel like something's changed. Is everything okay? And instead of reassuring you, instead of giving you a straight answer, he hits you with, you're overreacting. Now, at this point, you have two choices. You can either believe him, convince yourself that maybe you're just being paranoid, that maybe you're reading too much into things, or you can trust yourself. Because let me tell you something. If your gut is telling you something is wrong, don't ignore it. A man who truly cares about you won't make you feel bad for asking questions. He won't gaslight you into thinking you're crazy for noticing a shift in his behavior. The third reason a man might say you're overreacting is because he doesn't respect your feelings. And this one is the hardest truth to accept. When a man dismisses your emotions, he's showing you that he doesn't see them as important. He's showing you that what you feel doesn't matter to him as much as his own comfort. And that right there is a deal breaker. In a strong relationship, you should feel heard. You should feel safe enough to express yourself without fear of being judged, dismissed, or belittled. But when a man constantly tells you that you're overreacting, he's teaching you to stay silent. He's teaching you to suppress your feelings, to accept less than you deserve, to doubt yourself instead of holding him accountable. And let me tell you right now, that is not love. A real man, a good man, will listen when you speak. He will take your feelings seriously, even if he doesn't always agree with them. He won't brush you off, he won't make you feel crazy, and he sure as hell won't use words like you're overreacting to shut you down. Instead, he'll say, I hear you. Let's talk about it. Because that's what a relationship is. Communication, honesty, mutual respect. So the next time a man tells you that you're overreacting, take a step back. Ask yourself, why is he saying this? Is he trying to avoid the truth? Is he hiding something? Is he dismissing your feelings because he doesn't care enough to address them? Whatever the answer is, remember this. You are not crazy for feeling what you feel. You are not wrong for asking questions. And you are not overreacting just because he doesn't want to deal with the truth. A loyal man doesn't gaslight his woman. A real man doesn't make his partner feel small for expressing her emotions. And a good man won't make you question yourself just to protect his own secrets. So pay attention to the words, but more importantly, watch the actions. Because in the end, a man who truly loves you won't make you feel like you're too much. He'll make sure you know that your voice, your feelings, and your concerns are valued and respected. When a man suddenly tells you, I just need some space, it can send your mind into overdrive. You start wondering what it means, where it's coming from, and whether this is just a phase or the beginning of the end. The truth is, sometimes people genuinely need time to themselves. Life gets overwhelming, stress builds up, and personal reflection is necessary. But when a man throws this phrase at you out of nowhere, without any warning signs or real explanation, you need to pay attention. Because sometimes I need space. It's just code for I need time to explore something or someone else. Now, let's be clear. There's a difference between needing time to reflect and needing space to do something shady. A mature, healthy man will communicate if he's feeling overwhelmed. He'll say, "Babe, I've been feeling stressed and I just need some time to clear my head. It's not about you, and I want to work through this together." He'll reassure you. He won't suddenly start disappearing, avoiding your calls and acting distant without an explanation. But when a man uses "I need space" as a vague excuse, when it comes out of the blue with no context, it often means something else is happening. Maybe he's met someone new and he wants to see where it goes without officially ending things with you. Maybe he's already doing something behind your back and now he's trying to create distance so he doesn't feel guilty. Or maybe he just wants an easy way out without having to say, "I'm losing interest in you." One of the biggest red flags when a man asks for space is how he behaves afterward. If he truly just needed time to think, he will still check in, still care about how you feel, still be present in some way. But if he starts ghosting you, ignoring your texts, avoiding serious conversations, and acting like he's single, then chances are that space he asked for isn't about self-reflection. It's about making room for someone else. Another thing to consider is the timing of when he asks for space. Did he suddenly start acting this way after you questioned him about something? Did he ask for space right after you noticed he was texting someone new? Did this come up after you expressed concerns about his behavior? Because let me tell you, when a man is caught up in something shady, one of the quickest ways to dodge accountability is to create distance. If he's up to something, he doesn't want to deal with questions, explanations, or confrontation. He wants to escape the situation. And that's why "I need space" can be a smokescreen. Because when a man really loves you, he won't put you in a position where you feel confused, anxious, or uncertain about your relationship. He won't leave you hanging, waiting, wondering when or if he's coming back. Love doesn't feel like an emotional roller coaster. A real man will reassure you, not leave you in limbo. Now let's talk about what you should do if a man asks for space. The first thing, don't chase him. When a man pulls away, your first instinct might be to try to hold on tighter. You might start calling more, texting more, trying to get answers. But let me tell you something, if a man truly cares, he won't leave you feeling desperate for clarity. The more you chase, the more power you give him over the situation. Instead, take a step back. Give him the space he asked for, but on your terms. Second, ask yourself what you want. So often when a man asks for space, women focus entirely on whether he's coming back, what he's doing, and how to fix the situation. But what about you? Are you happy in a relationship where someone can disappear without explanation? Do you feel secure with someone who suddenly needs space out of nowhere? Instead of worrying about how to keep him, think about whether this is the kind of man you even want. Third, watch his actions, not just his words. Says, a man can say he needs space, but what does that actually look like? Is he using this time to genuinely work on himself, or is he out partying, flirting, and acting single? Because if his version of space looks a lot like freedom to explore other women, then what he really wanted wasn't space. It was a break from commitment. Let's be real. When a man truly loves a woman, he doesn't risk losing her. He doesn't just pull away and leave her in the dark. Yes, everyone needs time for themselves sometimes, but real love means working through things together, not creating unnecessary distance. A man who genuinely cares about you will make sure you feel secure even when he needs time alone. He won't leave you feeling like an option, a backup plan, or a temporary part of his life. And let's talk about something else. If a man asks for space, do not wait around forever. Set your own limits. If he needs a few days or even a couple of weeks to figure himself out, fine. But if it turns into months of him avoiding you, giving vague answers, and refusing to commit, then that's not space, that's stringing you along. And you deserve better than that. One of the hardest things to accept in relationships is that sometimes a man asking for space is just his way of letting go slowly. Instead of being honest and breaking things off directly, he creates distance. hoping you'll be the one to end it so he doesn't have to be the bad guy. And that's why you have to recognize when a man's words don't match his actions. A man who wants to be with you will be with you. He won't make excuses. He won't disappear. And he won't put you in a position where you feel confused about where you stand. So if you're dealing with a man who suddenly says he needs space, take a moment to ask yourself, does he still show he cares, or has he gone completely cold? Is he using this time to reflect, or is he acting like he's single? Is this about his personal growth, or is it just an excuse to avoid commitment? Am I waiting for someone who doesn't even know if he wants to be with me? At the end of the day, the right man won't make you feel like you're walking on eggshells. He won't make you feel insecure, anxious, or uncertain about his love for you. If a man truly values you, he won't risk losing you. And if he needs space, he'll communicate in a way that makes you feel safe, not abandoned. So if a man tells you he needs space, let him have it. But don't sit around waiting forever. Because while he's out there trying to figure out what he wants, you should be figuring out if he even deserves you. When a man looks you in the eyes and says, "It's not what it looks like," you need to pause and take a deep breath. Because let's be honest, if something looks bad enough that he has to say this, then 9 times out of 10, it is exactly what it looks like. This phrase is a classic reaction when someone gets caught red-handed. It's a desperate attempt to control the narrative, to make you doubt your own eyes, your own instincts, and your own common sense. And if you're not careful, if you let emotions take over, you might just fall for it. But let's break this down. Why do men say this? Why, instead of giving a straightforward explanation, do they resort to this vague defensive phrase? The truth is, it's not what it looks like. It's designed to do one thing: delay the truth. When a man gets caught in a compromising situation, whether it's texting another woman, sneaking around, or even getting caught in an intimate moment, his brain goes into panic mode. He knows he's been seen. He knows there's no easy way out, so he stalls. He tries to buy time. He hopes that by saying this, he can get you to listen long enough for him to come up with a half-believable excuse. But here's where you have to be smart. Pay attention to what happens next. Because when a man is innocent, he will immediately clarify what's going on. He won't just say, "It's not what it looks like." He will calmly explain exactly what it is. He won't dodge the question, get defensive, or turn the blame on you. However, when a man is guilty, his behavior will tell you everything you need to know. He might get angry. He might try to make you feel bad for even questioning him. He might flip the script and say, "I can't believe you don't trust me," as if you're the problem, not him. And let me tell you something. When a man is guilty, his first instinct is to manipulate you into doubting yourself. Think about it. You walk into a room and you see him sitting a little too close to another woman. Maybe he was laughing a little too hard at her joke. Maybe his body language was too familiar. Maybe they were whispering in a way that didn't sit right with you. The moment you confront him, he blurts out, "It's not what it looks like." Now, if you take a step back and let him explain, what happens next? Does he immediately give you a logical reason for what you saw, or does he start making you feel crazy for questioning him? Because here's the truth. When a man is truly innocent, he won't have a problem giving you clarity. He will understand your concern and say something like, "I see how that looked, but here's what actually happened." But if he's lying, he'll dodge, he'll deflect. He'll try to make you feel like you're the one in the wrong for even asking. Another big sign, watch his body language. Is he fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, stammering, or is he calm, collected, and looking you in the eye? A guilty man struggles to keep his story straight. He might change little details, hesitate before answering, or even repeat himself too much as if trying to convince himself. And let's talk about something else. Why does it look bad in the first place? Because here's the real deal. A man who respects his relationship won't put himself in situations where things could look bad. A loyal man won't be caught in a position where he has to explain himself in the first place. He won't be in dimly lit corners with other women. He won't have secretive text conversations. And he won't act in a way that makes you second guess his loyalty. So when a man tells you, "It's not what it looks like," you have to ask yourself, why does it look bad? Why was he in a situation where he could be misinterpreted? Why is he not given a clear, direct explanation? Because let's be honest, if a man is innocent, he will want to clear things up immediately. He won't leave room for doubt. But if he's guilty, he will stall a void and make you feel like you're the one overreacting. And this is where gaslighting comes in. Gaslighting is when someone manipulates you into questioning your own reality. If a man is guilty and doesn't want to admit it, he might try to make you feel crazy for even bringing it up. He might say things like, "Wow, you're really paranoid. I can't believe you don't trust me. You always think the worst of me. You're just being insecure." But let me tell you something. You are not crazy for noticing something suspicious. You are not insecure for having boundaries. And you are not wrong for asking questions when something doesn't sit right with you. A man who is faithful and honest will never make you feel bad for seeking clarity. Instead of saying it's not what it looks like, he will say, "I understand why this looks bad, but let me explain." So if you ever find yourself in this situation, here's what you need to do. 1. Stay calm. Don't let emotions take over right away. Listen, observe, and pay attention to how he reacts. 2. Ask direct questions. Instead of letting him dance around the topic, ask, "Then what exactly is it?" 3. Watch his response. Does he answer with confidence or does he get defensive and vague? 4. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Your intuition is there for a reason. And most importantly, don't let a man make you feel guilty for asking for the truth. A relationship should be built on trust, respect, and honesty. A real man, a loyal man, won't put himself in situations where things can be misunderstood. And if something does happen that seems questionable, he will be open, transparent, and reassuring. But if all he has to say is it's not what it looks like, without actually proving otherwise, then you already have your answer. Because when something looks like betrayal and feels like betrayal, it usually is.